Hello and welcome. Finally, after quite a few good years, I managed to buy all the components to make my own router table. I have this old StarTrite table saw, and I always thought, ooh, there is a really cool space that I could utilize one of the side tables and the void in it to accommodate the router table. So for this, I bought from China, Banggood, this actually quite well made fence. I was positively surprised once I received it, and for, let's say, sub 100 quid, I would say it's pretty good and decent. Then I bought a new router, and funny enough, I got the version that is offered on American market, because this one was around 60 quid cheaper than exactly the same one made for Europe, and both actually sold on Amazon, which is really strange. So this one was 135 quid plus taxes and shipping to UK. Then I thought I would add as well, of course, the featherboards, and I reused one of the old cabinets hands. There is no additional cost for the fabric material that I made it of. And after a little bit of measuring and deliberation, I started to cut it, trim it, and I had to make some allowance for the spindle to tilt the blade. As you can see, I messed up on the first go, and I made a tiny ding in the edge, but it doesn't really matter. It's more just bloody annoying. This router corner template is absolutely useless. I got it for 6 quid 14, but I would definitely not recommend it. And again, I love my belt sander, so all the little imperfections just disappeared. So, happy days. And now it's time to unpack this lovely Enjoywood GT7 Pro with the version 69mm in diameter. So, as you will see shortly, it's still not good enough. So, Enjoywood offers that lift in two versions. One is 65mm and the other is 69. And funny enough, before I got the new router, I called local supplier and asked, can you just tell me what is the diameter of the router? And I got a feedback, it's the usual 69mm. Nope, it's not. So I got all the components and I was stuck and not sure how to fix this. So anyway, I got this set of abrasive discs, flaps, and I have to say they did the trick. So it was another 10 quid on the product. I got it from Tool Station, Abrax flap wheels, and initially I wasn't sure how to actually squeeze them in so that the wheel is 80mm in diameter, however the opening in aluminium is 69. And I thought, ooh, I will be gentle, I will just try to get it in. But down the line I realized that it was easier just to force it in, and it is flexible enough so that the wheel would flex and would get in without much drama. But it was quite satisfying to see how this flap wheel managed to shave quite a few millimeters off this aluminium profile. And the final finish is actually quite good. So halfway I'm checking if there is some progress, and yes, there is a progress. I managed to gain extra mil across, but still carry on. So at some point I decided to lubricate it, and I used WD-40. Not sure if that was actually the best choice, but it did the trick. So I'm quite happy with this one. And my pillar drill did the trick, and it was actually quite easy to use. And now we can see top and bottom plate nicely enlarged, and finally the router fits in. So happy days, one problem solved. Time to fix the worktop surface and create some brackets just to hold it in place so that it will not slide. I was slightly ambitious and over optimistic initially, and I thought I would just secure in few corners just to ensure it will not spin and rotate. Unfortunately, it didn't fully work, so I had to down the line add a few more brackets just to keep it nicely secured in place. And again, it was slightly awkward because of this spindle from the table saw, but overall it was not a big drama. So now you can see from a side view that I had to off-center the router spot just to avoid clashes between the lift and the spindle. A little bit of measuring just to get it right, and let's keep going. I have to say that the router original plate is so small and the router is quite wobbly. So I got this lovely plate from Banggood again, and it did the trick. It was, let's say, decent quality, acceptable price, but just transformed how the Palm router behaves, and it was so much easier to control it. So I would definitely recommend it. Well, worth spending a few quid on it. And finally, time to check if the lift will fit, and of course it won't. So a little bit of rasp and sandpaper just to enlarge and smooth out the edges, and then job done, all fits in. So happy days. And it's time to secure the lift in place. That was a little bit of a faff because overall thickness of the chipboard that I have used was just on the borderline to secure it nicely in place. At some point I thought I will double it up and just make it double the thickness, but then the tiny black bolts that you can see at the moment would not be long enough to level it, so it was a bit of a compromise. And then of course I managed somehow to mess it up. I triple checked the bolt length or screw length, so I cut them to be bang on, but then somehow I was overdoing this with the impact driver, and the next one, damn it, just slightly went through. So it's just bloody annoying that instead of having nice surface, I will already have a ding, and we'll have to fix it. As you can see, yeah, it just slightly managed to damage the top surface. So, however, a little bit of sawdust and glue will fix it. It doesn't look good as new, but tough luck. Anyway, I would like to say thank you if you managed to survive nearly 9 minutes of this video. If you could like and or subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing. At the moment, at the time of the recording, I have 120 subscribers, so thank you all that you subscribed in the past, so much appreciated. It was a little bit of a faff to get it level, and sometimes the adjustability was not always there to level it. The bolts were just a fraction too short to make it work. However, as you can see, this Banggood router plate is actually quite handy. So I'm cutting out grooves for T-tracks, and I need to of course trim off the edges just to make it slightly better fit, and a little bit of handiwork with a chisel is doing the trick. So in the nutshell, would I recommend spending over 400 quid on a router and the lift? Yes. Across the past few weeks I have used both across few projects, and it's just a joy. Finally I have a decent dedicated space that I can bring a piece of wood to make nice grooves and cuts, and it's just so much nicer and easier to use. Do I like the palm router? Yes, I do. It's really nice, comfortable, easy to use, and it's really powerful. I think the weakest link at the moment is my battery pack. So I have 5 amp battery, and this one can run out of juice within, say, 20 minutes, half an hour of using. So sometimes I was caught out, oh damn it, battery went flat, and then it takes forever to get it charged back. But maybe down the line I'll just buy a bigger battery or have another one. This fence comes with micro adjustments as well, which is really handy, and comes with 2 stops either side, and after fitting the feather boards, it's a really nice setup. I'm really happy. It took me quite a bit of time just to get all of this in place, but I'm using already space within the table, so I'm not creating another item within the workshop. And yes, I'm a plonker. I try to remove all the little screws to fit in the plate, and then I realized, oh yeah, they are magnetic, so there was absolutely no need, and that's a really neat design. So those bolts can help to level and adjust the plate, so it just slots in nicely. And of course we have this spindle to lift and lower the router, so that's really good. The little annoying bit is because it is a cordless router that I need to lean underneath of the table just to switch it on and off. But besides this, it's doing the trick. And yes, maybe I should get rid of finally of the big joists from the floor, so it would be slightly easier and safer to use the router. And the feather boards are doing the trick as well, so definitely worth buying the pack. 406 quid, ouch, that's quite a lot for the router table, but it should serve me well across the next few years. And what I forgot to mention is that the dust extraction is actually quite good. So this pass I did without a dust extraction, but the second one I used dust extraction slot, and it's really doing well. So now you cannot see anything because it just sucks up all the shavings. So definitely a good package, good setup. So I'm really happy with this one. Lift is really easy to use, and there is a really nice scale, so you can actually see quite precisely by how much you are lifting or lowering. So that's a really nice feature, and I can reach in and flick the lock mechanism on the router, and I can change the router bits from the top, which is really handy. So overall, I'm really pleased with this one. The only thing that didn't work was the pin, and I had to make one because of some reason the thread was just wonky and I couldn't screw it in. But I used the router table on a few projects and I'm really pleased. Thank you for watching, hopefully you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Thank you.